Well, a very warm welcome, everybody, to a brand new season of the Club 100 iRacing Championship. It is back for the 2024-2025 season, and we kick things off at Silverstone, the home of British motorsport. My name is Andrew Mather. Great to have you on board for tonight's racing. It should be absolutely fantastic with nearly 40 drivers set to go racing here, as we say, at Silverstone, in the GT3 cars and some new cars out there that we haven't seen before. Howard Mitchell sends his apologies. Hopefully will be able to join us later on tonight, but we're getting ready for what should be a really good start to the season. As I say, we've got 39 drivers set to race with us here this evening across 4 categories, everybody out on circuits in their array of GT3 machinery. You can get in touch with us in the chat, on the YouTube chat. We're keeping an eye on the comments. Good evening to David Whitehouse, who's overlooking things. A little bit of a rundown. Let's get down to business. Everyone's going to start with a timed qualifying tonight. 8 minutes to do 2 laps. Got to be legal, got to be clean, no off-tracks, any of that business. And then we'll have 2 40-minute races. It's pretty much the same format that we had for the GT3 races last year. But the big difference, of course, is that we're starting in September. We've gone to an autumnal winter championship. The conditions in the lobby are good. This is also the first time that we have run with the new iRacing weather model, and well, it's not raining in the lobby. I think it definitely is raining at Silverstone itself. But for the drivers out there who've had a bit of practice in the last 90 minutes, it's good news for them that they are not going to have to deal with the wet conditions, at least for round 1. We'll see what happens when we go to Suzuka in a few weeks' time for round number 2. Other changes over the, well, I say the winter, not the winter, the summer, but since we had the BUKC iRacing Trophy, we have now got just the 2 main formats of racing. First one that we're seeing here tonight is the GT3. The second one is the Mazda MX-5 format, the same one that we've run from the very start of this championship back in 2020. That'll be the 3 times 25-minute races. We will also have a NASCAR special in the middle of the season. So no single seaters this time. We've pulled that out of the disciplines, but it's still multi-discipline. It's still a unique challenge for everybody out there, and it starts as ever with lone qualifying for all the drivers. As I say, I think we've got just under 40 of the 43 drivers registered for the championship. We'll take the next few minutes to go through them and see who we've got out there on circuit. Bear with us as well, because no Mr. Mitchell tonight means yours truly is doing the camera switching. Few drivers, well, lots of drivers who are familiar names to the series who are back with us once again. Tom Dix looks to be one of the early drivers out on track. With something that is new for the championship, the McLaren. The McLaren GT3, the 720S, is in. You'll also see on the side of the cars something that hopefully helps all of you at home identify who's who and what class they're running in. We're running a similar class structure to what we saw in the BUKC iRacing Trophy at the start of the year. Every single driver is either in Premier, Clubman, Intermediate or Rookie. Those classes determined by a mix of known public iRacing performance over time and also known performance in previous iRacing, Club 100 iRacing competitions. So Tom Dix is a clubman, still very quick driver, but is going to be fighting at what I think is going to be the most competitive class this year. A lot of strong runners in that one, a lot of new runners as well. Let's try and pick out some of those new runners. One of them in clubman is Will Blackwell-Chambers, racing in the Porsche 911 for tonight. So keep an eye on him in the 143. Let's have a look at some of the Premiers. The Premiers, the top drivers. No surprise to see Kieran Harrison in the Premier category. Champion from last year. Went on to get some track time courtesy of John Viger. And once again, that will be a feature of this 2024-2025 season, that drivers winning in The top 3 classes will all get some in real life track time for their efforts, but still a long, long way before we start talking about that one. So the Premiers are for your aliens. Absolute top draw drivers with very high I ratings and or proven previous racecraft in our series. Clubmen, still very strong drivers. Some drivers even up to around 5k I rating, but particularly those who haven't been in our series before, would be a bit unfair to ask them to go up against the reigning champion. So a lot of them are in Clubman. Intermediate as well, we should mention. Intermediate out there, let's grab one of our new drivers. Let's go to our Gabriel Castro. They're the ones with the green sideboards. Lots of these drivers still very fast, up to around 2k I rating, maybe a little bit more. And this is going to be another competitive class. This is very much your not professional sim racers. These are your eager amateurs, your gentleman drivers who've shown a good level of competency in previous events or in their iRacing careers publicly before getting into our series. Let's bring some of the details up on the qualifying times. You're not missing anything at the moment. Nobody has set a flying lap yet. Matthew Shawnee, back from the BUKC iRacing Trophy, is one of a small group of rookies. A number of the rookies have moved up from the BUKC iRacing Trophy into intermediate. Matthew Shawnee hasn't quite made that cut, but could be a good favourite for the rookie class as a result. Let's try and find a driver who's towards the end of their first lap. Henry Mackenzie Friedman impressed big time in the BUKC iRacing Trophy, qualified for this season of the BUKC iRacing Trophy by being the top newcomer, very nearly won the whole series overall. He's in the Lamborghini, another car that I don't think we've seen before in the series, in car number 55. Kieran Harrison has gone and set a 159.6 to kick things off. Friedman goes in on a 2:0.65. Matt Kendall is another driver that we're going to need to keep an eye on. Was very quick in the prologue race 1 week ago, particularly in the wet conditions that we tested at Silverstone. And indeed, it's good things expected from Matt Kendall, one of the newcomers, but has a really, really high I rating already. 7.1k is Kendall's I rating, and has been able to hold that I rating over time, so hence he is straight into Premier. No grace for racing in the Clubman class for a while. Top of Clubman at the moment is Josh Mitchell. Good to have Josh back in. Josh with a history of racing in the BUKC some years ago. Any driver who has a history in Club100 racing or the BUKC is eligible for this competition. Those who have or currently racing in the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship are also eligible, and anyone with a Motorsport UK eSports licence. So Mitchell currently top of the Clubman ranks. Everybody runs together, very similar to how we see in, say, Club100 Sprints or the BUKC main series with that mix of Premier and Clubman teams. It's the same here. Everybody's on track at the same time. Who's going quick in intermediate? Well, Matthew Davies is another one of the new drivers in the Ferrari 296. First time we've seen the Ferrari 296 in action, because it hadn't quite come out yet before we'd got the 2023 season going. Really going to be interesting to see if some of these Clubmans can kick up into that that group of blue numberboard runners in the Clubman category. Matthew Davies has done that at the moment with his qualifying performance. Yusuf Binta Hale's gone pretty quickly as well. Sam Spinale, has had a bit of a spin there on the last corner, but the former BUKC champion has qualified pretty well on the third row of the grid at the moment. Who else is out there at the moment? I think Michael Weddle's just come over the line to finish in 12th. There's no big moves further down the order. Let's have a look to see. I think some drivers are probably electing to sit in the pits for this evening. Let's try and find you a driver out on circuit and also get us off scenic mode. That's the first time that's happened this evening. There is Sam Dimolo in P31 at the moment. Has Dimolo completed 2 laps? Yes, I think Sam has. Old Julius, I think, is on a flying lap. Joel, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us for the BUKC iRacing Trophy, but great to have him finally on the grid here for the full Club100 iRacing Championship. At the moment in 26th position. Let's try and get you some more information up on that. That's your top drivers in the class display at the moment. Sorry, this is the bit that Howard usually does. Trying to get that up on screen for you. There we go. So Joel Julius at the moment, P26. Let's stay with Joel Julius. This is on this flight. That was one of our last drivers to go out. I'm not sure actually that he's going to get this lap time in because there's only 15 seconds of the session remaining. All of the drivers have completed their 2 lap times. Still that same situation of Kieran Harrison P1 in Premier and overall ahead of Matt Kendall and Adam State. Josh Mitchell top of those in the Clubman class. Let's try and get you the full results up for that one. But at the end of things, it is Harrison, Mitchell, Davies and Shawnee, your drivers who are top of their classes. Let's take you through the grid then for this first race. Kieran Harrison on pole position, Matt Kendall alongside. Is Matt Kendall going to be the new pretender to Kieran Harrison's last year domination of this championship? We're going to find out in the next 40 minutes. Adam State and Josh Mitchell on the front row, on the second row. Mitchell top of the Clubmans. Sam Spinell and Adam Delmont. Delmont, another new driver to the series. They're on row 3. Will Blackwell Chambers and Henry Friedman on row 4. Adam Brown and Murray Adams on row 5. Adams, the C2 champion from last year. A lot of the C2 drivers on that are taking that step up into the Clubman category. The others who are looking for a bit more development still in the intermediate class. Moving down the order, Ollie Davies and Jack Eyre on row 6. Michael Weddle back alongside Cody Cosford on row 7. Andy Alston and James de Havilland on row 8. James de Havilland promoted from the intermediate class to the Clubman class for this season as a result of the strong performance that we saw from James earlier on the year in the Club 100 in the BUKC iRacing trophy. Hicks and Matthew Davies on row 9. Matthew Davies top of the intermediates. Finley Brunton and Tom Dix complete the top 20. Lawrence Vines and Yusuf Binta Hale on row 11 ahead of Dan Gamblin and Adrian Goodwin. Andrew Dawson and Joel Julius row 13. Matthew Shawnee first of the rookies alongside his good friend John Adey on row 14. Aidan Bliss and Tim Penny on row 15. Sam Dimolo and James Fremont row 16. Eric Mignon and Simon Delamere, the 2 other rookies, on row 17. Will Doyle and Joao Castro with work to do from row number 18. Matt Salmon, Matt Hale and Craig Brown are your last of the 39 runners in this one for the start, round 1 of a new season in the Club 100 iRacing Championship. It'll be a 40-minute race for all drivers involved. And there at the front of the field, Kieran Harrison, number 1, P1, where he started the season. Well, I should say where he ended the season in 2023. He starts the new season in 2024. Short run to the line here, just the run through Stowe Corner. And then into Club. The pace car is in the pits. We are getting ready for the start of a new season in the Club 100 iRacing Championship. Lights are out. We're racing once again in the Club 100 iRacing Championship in the GT3s, and it's a very good start for Kieran Harrison. He breaks away at the front of the field. Matt Kendall in second. Rest of the field coming through now and into the loop for the first time. Very busy in the middle of it all. All drivers will just be looking to try and make it through in the early stages. Kieran Harrison at the front of the field looking pretty good. Has already got a bit of a gap over Matt Kendall. This straight away is going to be a test of Matt Kendall's skills, as there's a bit of goings on, I think, towards the back of the order. A couple of drivers running wide, but everybody in control into the stadium complex through corners such as Luffield and Woodcote. This is looking pretty good in the early stages of this race, back with Kieran Harrison at the very front of the order. who's made a good start. I think there's been a problem straight away for Lawrence Vines out there. Yeah, I think Lawrence has had some internet issues straight off the bat. Back with Kieran Harrison, who's already going through Maggots and Beckett and towards Chapel. Comfortably in the lead of this one. Change at the front in Clubman. Sam Spinale has got to the front of the order in that category. There's also been changes in the intermediate category as Finley Brunton has made his way through past Matthew Davies in the Ferrari there just behind. So a good start from those drivers. Meanwhile, Matthew Shawnee has held his position. There he is in almost the Gulf-coloured Ferrari. The Carrots car, the parachuting Carrots. Well, at the moment, parachuting straight up into first position. Apologies for some of the issues there on live time. I can assure you that Kieran Harrison is still in the lead of this race. There he is at the very front of the order. Pretty good in the early stages. In terms of pit strategy, drivers will need to stop in this one. They have not got enough fuel to pull them through to the end of this race. There was some question if there was going to be some wet weather before the start of this one, whether they would be able to get through on a single tank, but that is not going to be the case with these dry conditions, overcast conditions here at Silverstone. Thank you very much, David Whitehouse. Yes, the timing tower will jump around a bit with how the cars are being drawn. We can assure you that it is still Harrison in the lead of the race. There is Matt Kendall in second place, Adam State third. Keep your comments coming in. Hello to Kirsty Lyons cheering on Davies boys. Davies currently running there in a battle. That's Yusuf Bin Sahel just ahead in the multicoloured Ferrari. Lawrence Vines just behind. Ollie Davies is a couple of positions ahead. Very nicely liveried car there for Ollie Davies. We're going to spot that one from a mile off across the course of this season. So a fairly calm start for this one. The drivers heeding the warnings of the drivers' briefing, as now I think we've got back in control of our timing tower. There we go, that's better. Kieran Harrison is your leader by 1.6 seconds. He's pulling away from Matt Kendall very, very quickly indeed. A little bit further behind in third place. Got Adam State and then Sam Spinale. So Sam Spinale still at the front of the order. Adam State, strong runner last year in the championship. Into his second year. What can he achieve? The driver who used to be part of Cardiff's BUKC team. That's his means of qualifying for, or being eligible, I should say, for the Club100 iRacing Championship. Sam Spinale just behind there in fourth place, was a champion for Coventry, raced for a good number of years for Hertfordshire as well. Be looking for a good result here tonight. Adam Brown just behind, one of many Rethink Racing drivers. You'll see that livery in various guises quite a few times up and down this grid. A number of drivers running the McLaren as well. Quite a few people who work for McLaren in our lobbies this year. This is a good battle with Josh Mitchell. Josh Mitchell from Scotland, of course, running some very proud liveries for him there in the 154. This is the battle over second place in class. Just a little bit further behind, there is Will Blackwell Chambers in the Clapham North liveried Porsche. Very tidily put together livery on that one. Directly behind, last year's C2 champion has stepped up from, to say, C2 has kind of become, in most part, intermediate. Murray is one of a few drivers who has moved up to the Clubman category in effect that sits between where C1 and C2 used to be, giving something to be competitive for everybody out there. Murray Adams was very impressive, particularly in the GT3 machinery in 2023. And went on to win some of that free track time. He shared with Kieran Harrison in an endurance race earlier on in the Club100 season at Clay Pigeon. So keep an eye on Murray, who across the course of the season. There is Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Straight away, I think seeing Friedman there in 9th place tells us a lot about how Clubman is going to be this year. This is a driver who was very, very strong in the Winter Championship at the start of the year, the BUKC iRacing Trophy. Raced for race wins, qualified for this new championship through being the best newcomer. He's down in 9th place at the moment. We didn't see all of these Clubman drivers in that Formula Ford 1600 based competition, and now they're back. It's going to be a bit of a step up for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. He has an I rating around 6k at the moment. Definitely deserves to be in the Premier category. I don't think would have been expecting this at the start of the campaign. There's Ollie Davies, currently in the top 10. Then another one of the Rethink Racing crew, Michael Weddle, in 11th place. Running the number 24 tonight. That will change later on in the season. All drivers who are in the Clubman category, unless they are a seeded driver from last year's top 10, should start with a 1. That's on us. That's an error on our part. Andy Alston directly behind in the 126. I think everyone's just being nice and patient at the moment in this one. Not making too many rash moves. Biggest mover in the race at the moment, I think, might actually be Adam Brown. Yes, Adam Brown's up 4 positions so far in this race. That's Jack Eyre. Good to have Jack back as well, another one of the McLaren runners. He's got Steve Hicks for company with a all-black Lamborghini livery that is legal. That's it. It's legal. So we're all fine. We're actually going on board now with Steve Hicks into... Oh, there's a bit of a mistake there from Jack Eyre. Jack Eyre's run wide, and is going to see the number 4 Lamborghini coming through. And there's a change for 14th place. James de Havilland immediately behind. This might give an opportunity to a driver, as I say, who's really strong in the FF1600s, the BUKC iRacing Trophy earlier on in the year. I think James de Havilland is going to have a look down the inside, coming past the BRDC clubhouse. No, thinks better of it. Leader in the intermediate category at the moment is Finlay Brunton. Finlay running in the BMW M4. Intermediates restricted in terms of what cars they can use. They can use either the Ferrari or the BMW. They can go back and forth as much as they like. But the car restrictions made to basically make sure that intermediate doesn't turn out to be decided by whoever's got the most iRacing cash to buy all the cars and go for whichever car is strongest on each particular circuit. For the Clubmans and the Premiers, that doesn't matter too much because the level of driver is very competitive anyway. Has there been a problem for Kieran Harrison? No, I think that was just a moment on the live timing, just to check in with that to make sure. But yeah, so you'll see all the intermediates are either in the Ferrari or the BMW. They've got a bit of choice, but not free choice to spend their way to the front. They've got to make it work with what they've got. Rookies have to run the Ferrari. That is the rule in this case. Again, keeps it nice and simple. Keeps it on the drivers to maintain their position. Lawrence finds, I think, having a few connection issues out there, but is currently running just behind in 19th place. Good to have Adrian Goodwin back as well. Adrian, another one of the runners in the McLaren there. He's got Matthew Davies for company immediately behind. Let's go on board with Adrian Goodwin for the opening portion of this lap. Into the loop, very tricky corner. Now, was that a bit of an issue we had now? I think that's the lagging Vines that's having a few moments out there. Apologies for the live timing. This is what happens when Howard's not here. His PC normally runs the live time and he's able to run everybody at the same time. Our little PC that we've got here at DDMM HQ can't. But we're working on that. We're working on that, ladies and gentlemen. Here is your leader. Kieran Harrison clear by 3.5 seconds. At the moment, it's looking like a continuation of what we saw in 2023. Matt Kendall, at the moment, last time around, a 2 minutes 0.65. That is the pace at the moment for Kendall. Harrison running 5 or 6 tenths quicker, but we don't know what these drivers are doing in terms of fuel, so there could be a difference on that front. Let's move a little bit further down the order. Yes, this will make live timing go a little bit wobbly, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. Here's your leader in the rookie class, Eric Mignon. Doing a nice job out there. I think Eric's are in around, actually in around 35th place, because he's a lot higher than 39th. Because saying that, no, he is in 39th. Apologies, Eric. Something's happened to him out there, so he's fallen down the order a little bit. May have made his pit stop already, of course. We are at that stage of the race where drivers could theoretically come in for a bit of service. Let's see if we've got any moments out there. I think we've had a change between Henry Mackenzie Friedman and Murray Adams. Apologies. Oh, here we go. That was going into the pit straight. So yes, so Henry now through and past. Back with our race leader, who's continuing to extend that lead. Now 4 seconds clear of Matt Kendall in the number 67. Adam State there in third. Sam Spinell doing a really good job at the moment there in the Red Graphics Porsche, up to 4th place, pulling away from Josh Mitchell further behind. There's been a change between James de Havilland and Jack Eyre. This was the move down into the loop, right in front of the grandstand there. Good move from James de Havilland, gets him through and up to 15th place. The drivers indeed taking it very calmly out there. This is good to see from everybody involved. Indeed, so reminding me that Sam Spinell was the iRacing Formula 4 champion a few series ago. Very high quality field in the Club 100 iRacing Championship for this new season. Races will run pretty much every 2 to 3 weeks across the course of the autumn and through the winter as well. A little bit of break for Christmas, of course, so everyone can not have to be spoiling their Christmas dinners. Grinding laps on iRacing. There's the battle for 8th place on your screens. Henry Mackenzie Friedman, last time around, 2 minutes 0.830. I think that was a new personal best in this race for Friedman. Yes, it was. So trying to close in on Will Blackwell Chambers at this moment. Looks like Steve Hicks may have got a move done on Andy Alston. This is into the hairpin and onto the Wellington straight. Pretty straightforward move there for Steve Hicks. Hicks up to P13 as a result. 15 minutes into this first race of the season then. Round 1 of the Club 100 iRacing Championship. Race leader Kieran Harrison by 4.6 seconds now ahead of Matt Kendall. All drivers on fixed setups as well, so nobody can take advantage for any of that business. Very much akin to Club 100 in real life. Parity across the field. Everyone's got to run what's underneath them and make the most of it. Just going to check in on Matthew Davies to make sure that everything is okay there. Yep, that was just a little transponder and timing moment. He wasn't out of the race. Let's move a little bit further down the order. Adam Delmond, I think, has had some problems in the early stages. It's down to 23rd place. Dan Gamblin back out there as well. with one of our intermediates. Going through there in the BMW. Let's check in back with our race leader. This is a very impressive, I know it's only the first race of the season, but this is a very, very strong run. Keep your comments coming in. Hello to Carla, who's cheering on Finley Brunton. Brunton currently the leader in the intermediate category. What is the lead for Brunton at the moment? I think it's around 5 seconds ahead of the next intermediate out there, which is Matthew Davies. Where's Yusuf Bin Sahel gone, who was our leader in intermediate early stages? Still circulating, still looking good. Still got an illegal livery on Yusuf. That's a first warning. That's a paddling straight away. Who else have we not had a look at yet? John Ady we've not had a look at. Here is John. Oh, having a bit of a fight there with Joel Julius and Andrew Dawson. Dawson's got through in all of that. It's going to be Dawson up to P29. Also, we've not seen out there at the moment. We've seen Craig Brown. There is Craig, running a very nice all Ferrari livery with the 241. Jacuzzi asks, is it too late to join this? No, not at all. Entries are closed at the moment on SimGrid, but they will reopen later tonight upon the completion of round number 1. Oh, I said that was a legal livery. It's not an illegal livery. It's not a legal livery. Craig, your number board needs to be green. But yes, drivers who have a history in Club 100 or BUKC racing, doesn't matter if you raced yesterday or 10 years ago, you are all eligible. Current BPEC drivers are eligible. Anyone with a Motorsport UK esports license is eligible. And anyone, because I know we're at that time of year where universities are recruiting for their sports clubs, anyone who is part of a BUKC affiliated society. What we mean by that, I'm going to take my old alma mater as an example. If you are part of the University of Birmingham Motor Racing Club, the club or society that runs the BUKC team for Birmingham, you are eligible. If you are part of the former student team, as an example, you are not eligible. If you're part of both, therefore, you are eligible because you're part of the karting club. But yes, you can join over on SimGrid. Search us at the hosts page at Club 100 Racing. So we've got 44 drivers registered for the series as a whole. First registrations are taken through the MX5 pages. Won't bore you with why we have to do it that way. It's just the way we have to do it. Thank you very much, David, for putting the host page in there. So yeah, so we've got about another 6 places that we can at the moment accept drivers for and get you on the grid for round 2 in a few weeks' time. The first time we'll be seeing the MX5s in action. Looks like Eric Mignon has gone into the pit lane. This might be our first signs of pit activity. This looks like a fairly standard stop for Eric. We're about halfway. In fact, we're not about halfway. We are pretty much bang on halfway. Kieran Harrison's lead now 5.7 seconds. Just going to have a little look further down the order. Something happening here with James Fairmont. No, I think that's a transponder moment. But what I will say is, that is a fantastic livery that, that James has done. And yeah, full credit to him on doing that one. Back with the race leader, who's now encountering traffic. So this could be an interesting moment in the race for Kieran Harrison. Will he elect to get the fuel stop done now? David Whitehouse is being cheeky in the chat again. I can remove admin privileges, you know. Best football club in the world, mate. Who else is running well out there? Who is making overtakes? I think Matt Hale might have made an overtake. Or maybe it's just SDK having me on. I think it's SDK having me on. There is no way that Matt Hale has made a legitimate overtake. But he is running in around 33rd position at the moment. This is a good excuse to have a look at the very, very nice G3 Pro livery that Matt is, of course, running. A big thanks to G3 Pro once again for their support of the championship. Fairly quiet opening to this one. Waiting for drivers to make their first pit stops. I think there has been some progress for Aidan Bliss out there. This is a livery and a half, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to describe this one. I really don't. Except it is legal, and that's a little bit of a wide run into Luffield. But great to have Aidan back. Aidan was one of the first ever drivers to race with us in this championship back in 2020. Back with our race leader. I'm going to take exception to that comment from Adam there as well. Drivers from the UBMRC don't do well. Don't make me get my list of names. You just be glad Howard isn't here. He'd be absolutely seething at that comment. Plenty of drivers from Birmingham who've been doing well over the years. Anyway, back to the race that's going on. Have we got any pit stops happening? I think there has possibly been an issue for Steve Hicks. Steve Hicks is in. And that doesn't look like a scheduled pit stop to me. That looks like there has been a problem for Steve Hicks. That's very out of schedule in terms of where he is on the road. It's fallen all the way down to P39. I think there was also some pit activity going on out there for others. This is where I'll try and work out who's moving around out there. Finley Brunton's been in. Okay, Finley Brunton has been in for a pit stop. Also in the pits has been the Audi. That is Cody Cosford on your screens. Now the trouble for these drivers is I think they've pitted and they've dropped into the traffic that hasn't yet pitted because they're in around the area with Matthew Shawnee. The pit stops are starting to occur. Apologies for the timing again. There we go. Let's just reset it back to the front. Does Kieran Harrison elect to make the pit stop this time? I think it would be a good time to make the pit stop because I think there is genuinely a bit of a gap in behind 5th place. Over the line goes Kieran Harrison. That's to complete the 12th lap of the race. Looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Matt Kendall there in 2nd place. Sam Spinell still your leader in the Clubman category. Doing a really good job at the moment ahead of Josh Mitchell. Josh Mitchell, I think, has found a way past in this stint ahead of Adam Brown. But Adam Brown there in 6th place on the road, 3rd place in class. Will Blackwell Chambers behind. I think what's particularly interesting with the Clubman class is that you look at the iRatings, it's something that is shown a lot in how the classes are put together, that iRating isn't everything. So we've got some drivers in this group, some very high iRatings. Will Blackwell Chambers at the moment 5.3. But Will is not at the front of this group. And it's drivers with a bit more experience in this style of racing, Club100 style racing. Josh Mitchell, who has raced in the championship before, has a 2.8 iRating as an example. So this is where the stability of the format is going to reward those who, particularly at the start of the season, have raced it before. Give it a few races. Could be some changes out there. In the pits is Simon Delamere. Simon, and one of the rookie category, pitted for the standard pit stop. It's not a mandatory pit stop, but with the amount of fuel that is in the cars at the start of the race, in a dry race, pretty much makes it obligatory that everybody has to come in. Simon's going to come back out on circuit, I think around 35th place. but ahead of Eric Mignon. There have been problems, I think, as well for Jack Eyre. Oh, no, there haven't. No, Jack's absolutely fine. That's just another moment in my timing system. Has got back up to 18th place. Jack seeded from last year. And the number 5 car. So even though Jack is a clubman runner, because he's got one of those, pretty much as you have in Motorsport UK karting. In fact, I think Jack is going in for a pit stop here. Yes, he is. Because he finished in the top 10 of the championship last year, he has the right to use one of those top 10 plates. So in with 26.5 minutes run. Also in the pits there is Goodwin. So we are in that phase of the race that's giving the drivers the opportunity to get a little bit more fuel in the tanks. Don't think we'll see many drivers change tyres, because whilst the tyre model on iRacing is a little bit harsher than it used to be, for the extra time it takes to change all 4 tyres, I don't think you'll be able to get that back in a 40-minute race. Henry Mackenzie Friedman has boxed. That is a truthful, running down in 17th place. She's slotted in behind the intermediate leader, Matthew Davies. I think we've got the leader in. Yes, Kieran Harrison has elected to come in. This has been a very straightforward run so far from the reigning champion. Will Matt Kendall carry on? Yes, Matt Kendall will carry on, so we're going to get a new race leader here. It is going to be as the pit stops are going through. Now the question is, has Matt Kendall been able to save sufficient fuel to overcome the gap? We'll stay with Matt, because this is going to be an important few laps of the race. Good question, Adam. I'm going to point that one to Mr. Whitehouse, who I'm normally a lead in charge of doing all the maths for this kind of thing on an endurance race. It's been a while since I've raced on iRacing personally. You've caught me out on that one. Adam State has carried on for another lap as well, so Adam up to P2. Kieran Harrison is back out on circuit and is ahead of Ollie Davies. Ollie Davies has not pitted yet, so whilst he is in the lead in the clubman category, both Davies are in the lead of their respective categories. They have not pitted yet. Tom Dix has got up to 5th place. Again, hasn't pitted yet. Sam Spinell has pitted. So we'll keep an eye on Sam and how he gets on. Has come out into a nice bit of clean space there. There is your leader in intermediate. Hasn't pitted yet. Drivers behind in the shape of Adam Brown and Josh Mitchell have. Adam Brown has jumped Josh Mitchell in the pit stops, though. That is for sure. That has definitely happened out there. So that is a key moment for those two. Exactly, Adam. I've genuinely had no time to actually race on iRacing in the last 6 months. Such is life. Matt Kendall is in. Okay, so it was only 1 lap extra that Matt Kendall was able to do. This is looking pretty good then if you are a Kieran Harrison supporter, because I don't think that amount of fuel saving, even if it was intentional, is going to be enough to hold back Kieran Harrison here. We won't see a lollipop man because we're in replay mode. Looks like everybody who hadn't pitted is now in, so Kieran Harrison will cycle back to the front of the order. I think that's Steve Hicks directly behind, but Hicks is some laps down. Okay, so yes, you're right, David. I think they now do the tyres in with the fuel. The tyres can still be a little bit slippery when they're cold. Kieran Harrison has emerged. 8.4 seconds is the gap then, ahead of Matt Kendall. Well, this is going to give Matt Kendall something to think about. He's beating one of the top two from last year's championship, but he's not beating the reigning #1 plate holder, Kieran Harrison. And in some way is to be expected. We saw from the performances of Kieran Harrison last year, he was a very, very strong performer when he came into this championship as a debutant, but with a lot of experience in other forms of iRacing. Pretty much only one driver was able to take him toe-to-toe, wheel-to-wheel, and that was Josh Ladd on a one-off appearance at Suzuka last year. Michael Preston had some good runs against him, but again wasn't able to do a full campaign. I'm sure we will see Matt Kendall get onto the pace with Kieran Harrison across the course of the season, but would be a remarkable thing to do so in his first race. Harrison an 8.2 I-rated driver at the moment. Matt Kendall a 7.2. One of the changes that we've seen out there on the circuit, there's the other Clapham North car. Will Blackwell Chambers at the moment on for 4th place in this race. Meanwhile, let's have a little look down into intermediates. I think we've got a battle going on here. This is between John Adey, newly up to intermediate, Craig Brown and Joel Julius. Fighting over 27th position. Next driver up ahead is Sam Dimolo. But looking good here for Kieran Harrison. The gap now is 8.7 seconds. We'll check in on Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle running in 11th place. Points for this first race of the season. Well, actually, let's explain it in terms of the total round. So each round, a driver can score 240 points for a perfect night. And then depending on how many races there are in an individual round, that's how much each race is worth. So for tonight, half the 240, so 120 points for a race victory, if I've remembered my rules and my maths correctly. And if I haven't, that's very bad of me, because I wrote the rules. Crucial bit, though, for drivers, if they get a good first result, they've got to make it count in the second result, because when it comes to drops at the end of the year, basically, it's your worst rounds, it's your worst night total score that gets dropped, as opposed to, say, in sprints, it's your worst final from round 2 and your second worst final from round 6, and some heats that are terrible from round 7. It's not quite working in that same manner. It would be funny if Stumolo won some free track time in through this, but no offense, Sam. He's going to have to pick his pace up if he's going to get that free time. Maybe he'll just get a raise. This is when the phone instantly goes off from JV. Say he's not getting a raise. He's also disrespecting track limits. Incident points are active. 25 incident points for all drivers out there. That should be enough to get them through to the end of a 40-minute race. We're not too far away from the end of that 40-minute race. 5 minutes of this one to go. Kieran Harrison still your race leader. Looking pretty calm at the front of things. Matt Kendall there, second on the road. Steve Hicks is running again, but I think is possibly 3-4 laps down maybe. All drivers get one free fast repair, and if they damage their car sufficiently again after that point, they're going to be hurting quite a bit. But good to see all 39 cars are still running out there. Let's have a look down and see who we haven't caught up with for a while. Peter Binterhale It's there in 34th. I imagine something's happened to Yusuf because he was starting towards the front of the intermediate group. He's now a little bit further back. Actually, no, he's not too far behind. He's in 28th place once he's updated. Good question there, Adam. Are the points allocated against drivers in class or against the entire grid? Entire grid. So again, akin to Club 100 sprints, each position on the road is worth the same number of points. Does mean that if any of these drivers perform beyond expectations in terms of their class, in theory, if you're a Clubman driver, like your leader Sam Spinell, we'll just get up on screen now, you finish, well, it's more for the intermediates. If an intermediate finishes a long way up in the Clubman ranks, that is going to be a very, very good score for them. But again, the way that the round drops work, if they then smash it up in the second race, could end up that those points are in effect lost to the drops. We're on lap number 19. Don't worry about the outer 40. It's an admin thing to make sure that the race does run to 40 minutes. That is the limitation for the drivers here. Kieran Harrison now 10 seconds clear of Matt Kendall. This has been quite a performance from Kieran Harrison out the box. Is some question as to whether Kieran will be able to do the full season. I think whilst he is here, it's going to be another set of strong performances from the iRacing livery driver. Adam State's not given up second place here yet as well. He's only a second off the back of Matt Kendall. This has been a really good first performance from Adam State. I'll tell you what, the battle in Clubman is also not done. Adam Brown holding second place in the category ahead of Josh Mitchell. This could be our closest fight towards the end of this first race of the night. Kieran Harrison goes on to what will be the last lap in this one, as the leaders have got less than 2 minutes on the clock as they went over the line. Adam Brown is all over the back of Sam Spinell here. As I say, if you want my tip, where is the action going to be guaranteed this season? It's going to be in this category, this Clubman category that's had an influx of new drivers, all around 3.5 to 5k iRacing, are going to be very, very competitive against each other in every single race. And this is a great example of it. Sam Spinell, BUKC champion in previous years, 3.9k I-rated driver going up against Adam Brown, 4.4k I-rated driver. Josh Mitchell, the experienced head, previous runner in the Club 100 iRacing Championships, is having a little bit of a look down the inside of Adam Brown there, but not far enough alongside to make the move work. We are on the last lap here. Time is about to tick over to 40 minutes. There's no +1 lap. We will finish off racing on this tour of the circuit. Adam Brown's actually lost a little bit of time there to Sam Spinell. Josh Mitchell nearly pushing the McLaren through Copse Corner. I tell you what, Will Blackwell Chambers and Murray Adams aren't going to be out in this one either. Time is indeed up. Kieran Harrison is coming through to what will be victory number 1 of the season. What a start for the 2023 champion, picking up where he left off. Kieran Harrison wins race 1 of the night here at Silverstone. Second place is going to go to series debutant Matt Kendall. A very strong performance on his first outing. but perhaps some thinking to do ahead of race number 2. Adam State finishes P3. Sam Spinale, can he hold on for the class win in Clubman? It's going to be 3 wide through the final corner. Oh, and there's contact there. Off goes Adam Brown into the wall. In the end, Josh Mitchell is going to take race victory. I think 5th was Blackwell Chambers. 6th was Sam Spinale. Has Adam Brown got over the line? Yes, he has. But that one is more than likely going to get reviewed. Let's have another look at that one again. Coming through the final corner. That was a little bit earlier on. I think this was the moment. No, that was a little bit further back as well. Let's find the right replay for a start. Looking a little bit further down the order. Okay, this was the moment then. So Spinale on the outside, side by side between the two of them. Oh, there may have been, difficult to tell from that angle whether there was netcode involved. But that is a tricky moment for Adam Brown. Off at the end of the first race of the night. I think Matthew Davies came over the line as the winner in intermediate. Who else is still out there and circulating? I think we've got some drivers further down the order who are still to finish. Joel Julius is going to come over the line, P32. Oh, side by side between Yusuf Bin Sahel and Matthew Shawnee. Just looking further down the order as to who's taking the win. I think Simon Delamare's taking the win in the rookie category. Right, well, drama there at the end of the first race of the night. Not damage, though, for the winner of last year's championship, Kieran Harrison. Apologies, let's pull up the full result, not just the ones in Premier. There we go. Kieran Harrison takes the win then ahead of Matt Kendall, Adam State. Josh Mitchell, okay, Josh Mitchell, yes, did get across the line as the winner in the Clubman category. Will Blackwell Chambers 5th, Murray Adams P6, Henry Friedman P7, Adam Brown, Ollie Davies, Michael Weddell, James de Havilland, Andy Alston, Lawrence Finders and Cody Cosford, all in the top 14. Matthew Davies the winner in the intermediate category. Really good run there ahead of Finley Brunton. Jack Eyre and Adam Delmont ahead of Will Doyle, Adrian Goodwin, Tim Penny, Dan Gamblin, Sam Spinale P23. So I wonder if Sam Spinale may have got a penalty there late on from the incident points, because he definitely didn't finish P23 on the road. Andrew Dawson P24 ahead of Sam Dimolo in the top 25. Brown, Fremont, Julius and Binnis Hale all in the top 30, completed by Matthew Shawnee. Matthew Shawnee was your top driver in rookie. Aidan Bliss, Tom Dix, Matt Salmon, Matt Hale, Simon Delamere, John Adey, Eric Mignon, Joao Castro and Steve Hicks. That is your classification for race number 1. More racing to come here tonight at Silverstone. We're going to take around an 8-minute break before we're back with race number 2. Keep it locked here on the DDMM YouTube channel. Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lord has got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he may. Oh, he's got the run! He's gone for a big move. Switchback by Weaver. Read it beautifully. Saw it coming. Kept the steering open. Let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all 3 of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022. Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our 2 qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Albin and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light. Great start for Mike Coppin. sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race, this, for the championship. At the start of the run into the end of the season, Coppin versus Brunton. Early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's three of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brendan at all. He's going to try and get the side draft working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael.
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send. My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtaking. Now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my god, round the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the
Racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse. I think he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kartbahn Vollen circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years. He was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Wenger is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lenato. Cantan's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the 2 AV Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Canton on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Cantan defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Cantan's still got the lead of this race. He's got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Cantan. And the title stays in North America for another year. Vivek Cantan wins the lead of the race. Cook is still there in second. Carter's still there in third. They slightly bang wheels.
Carter around the outside takes second place. One more opportunity. You've got to think James Roots is still in there as well for the race win. Grayson Wortley, he's got to defend down the inside into Wilkins. He's done just that. He's got to get off the corner. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Coming off the corner. Ronnie Carter's gone round the outside. Ronnie Carter becomes champion in the 2022 Super 1 Miami Bambino Championship with a last corner overtake. Have you ever seen a championship decided like that?
Green flag about to be in the air. There it is. Eyes on those lights. They're coming on. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. The KZ third heat is go. Good start for Albanese. He's going to hold the lead into turn 1 ahead of Gustafsson. The rest of the field filing through. Good start down into turn 2 and turn 3. The race result because of Mottram's penalty, but Daniel Munro has had this titanic duel with Rory O'Regan this year. It wasn't Rory's day, but it is Daniel Munro's day. Daniel Munro. Welcome back, everybody, to Silverstone. Welcome back to coverage of round 1 of this year's Club 100 iRacing Championship. Andrew Mather on commentary duties, doing it solo tonight. Apologies for everyone it being a little bit scrappy, but Howard's not able to be with us for unexpected circumstances. Everything is okay with him, but yeah, it means I'm doing everything. I'm switching, I'm commentating, I'm directing. I'm no Chris Simpson on this. Do you remember when Chris Simpson used to do everything all at once before the days of Alpha Live? He was very, very skilled at it. Right, enough of my rambling. Race 2 is coming up shortly. Let's have a look at the grid, if we can, for this next race. Let's see, this is where Howard normally does everything. There we go. Let's take us back to the very start of the grid, though, because we have, once again, Kieran Harrison on pole position, Matt Kendall alongside on the front row, Adam Staten, Josh Mitchell on the front row. We do reckon Sam Spinale got a penalty for the first... from the first race at the very end, was probably incident limit on the last lap, so that's why he's dropped down a bit. Will Blackwell Chambers and Murray Adams are going to be on the third row of the grid. Henry Friedman and Adam Brown will be next up on row number 4. Ollie Davies and Michael Weddle on row 5. James de Havilland and Adam Alston on the next row of the grid, row number 6. Lawrence Vines and Cody Cosford, row 7. Matt Davies and Finlay Brunton, the top 2 intermediates, on row number 8. Jack Hare and Adam Delmont on row 9. Will Doyle and Adrian Goodwin on row 10. Tim Penny and Dan Gamblin on row 11. Sam Spinell drops down to row 12, is joined by Andrew Dawson. Sam Dimolo and Craig Brown next up on row 13. James Fremont and Joel Julius on row 14. Matthew Shawnee and Yusuf Bintahale on row 15. Aidan Bliss and Tom Dix on row 16. Matt Salmon and Matt Hale on row 17. Simon Delamere and John Adey on row 18. Forming out the rest of the order, Eric Mignon, Joao Castro and Steve Hicks. So, getting ready for this one then. Same format, 40 minutes. One of the drivers learnt in race 1 that they can apply in this second race of the night. Under starters orders once again, away we go for the start of race number 2. Kieran Harrison gets a good start again from the front of the field. Looking all clean through the first couple of corners. Good to see. And into the loop for the first time. Good start once again from Will Blackwell Chambers. Up to 4th place. Bit of a scrap going on there between Murray Adams and Adam Brown nearly coming to blows. Battle going on in the intermediate category as well. Watch out for the green details on the end plates, on the wing mirrors as well. That's how you can spot an intermediate kart pretty quickly, and it's been a good start for Finley. Brunton is up the inside of Lawrence Vines. And keep an eye out for Matthew Davies as well, the second of those intermediate runners in the order. Looking a little bit further down the order, how are we doing? Oh, someone's lost the front wing, and that looks... Is that Matt Hale's front wing? Yes, it is. It is Matt Hale's front wing. The Ferrari 296, there's a McLaren off as well. Off 2 drivers left, so something has happened to Matt Hale. Let's try and find out for a moment what it was. Get back onto where that problem has occurred for Matt Hale. No, apologies, it's not coming up in our replay folder, or at least I can't work out how to use it. But yes, that has been a problem for Matt Hale. He's going to have to come into the pit straight away. To say there was a McLaren off as well. Was it Tom Dix potentially in trouble? Well, there is, I think it was. I think Tom Dix was the McLaren, the orange McLaren, off at the very start of the run down the national pit straight. And that is a disaster for Matt Hale. He's going to have to come into the pits surely. No, he's going to carry on. Does Matt realise? Does he know? Matt, you're running without half of your downforce, pal. That is going to be turning like a boat. It's going to be turning like some of the North American cars that aren't being used by anyone in the series at the moment. Anyway, Kieran Harrison back at the front of the order. Service resumed from the very first race. Apologies for a little foible there on live timing. That will update in a moment and show that Adrian Goodwin is not in the lead of this race. I think Tim Penny has. I think these are these are drivers that have towed. Drivers who have towed in the early stages. So are in trouble. Let's try and find out and see where they are. If they are sat in the pits. No, Will Doyle is absolutely fine. So not sure what's happened there. Tim Penny as well is absolutely fine. Running in the mid-pack. Reports that James Fremont may have had an incident out there. Let's see what's happened here with James Fremont. Oh, now, was that a little bit of a tag with Steve Hicks? Yes, I think it was. So round went James Fremont there. I don't think there'll be any serious damage on the car, but has definitely lost a number of positions. Back live, and back to the front of the order. There is Kieran Harrison at the front of the field once again. So the big question at the moment is, can anybody find a way of challenging Kieran Harrison? Thank you to David Whitehouse. Tim Penny's got the P25. There we go. Now it's got itself kicked back into life. Question from, is it Jacuzzi? Strength of field for all entrants. I reckon we're probably about 2.8k tonight, Jacuzzi. Again, I'm sure David Whitehouse will be able to plug us with the stat of what that number is. That's just based off what I was seeing with the practice strength of fields earlier. Let's get looking for some battles out there. Adam Brown in P7 has got Henry Mackenzie Friedman for company right now. Penny for the thoughts in the mind of Henry Mackenzie Friedman. I don't think he would have expected to be running in P8 tonight. He would have been tipping himself to be right at the very front of the order. He is the highest ranked Premier driver who was present at the BUKC iRacing trophy. Right now he's having to fight with some of these new, very quick clubmen. That's going to get a bit risky, side by side, going into the Maggots and Beckett's complex, and quite wisely Henry pulls out of that one before it gets a little bit too tasty. James de Havilland there in 10th place, having a good night. Came back into Club 100 iRacing Sim Racing Championships earlier on in the year with his appearance in the BUKC iRacing Trophy, and openly admitted he was an FF 1600 specialist, so performed perhaps a little bit higher than people expected. Was an intermediate in that competition. Grew up to be one of the strongest runners overall in that one. That's why he's now become a clubman. I tell you what, he's doing a very nice job in these GT3s, holding his own against some experienced customers from previous years. There's an example here of Jack Hare being in 14th place at the moment, and to say was regularly up in the top 5 in events last year. So again, just shows the strength in depth of the competition that we've got for this 2024-2025 season. Side-by-side moment between Finley Brunton and Lawrence Vines. That's going to be, sorry, not Lawrence Vines, that's Alden Delmont trying to get down the inside. Still side-by-side as they go down the Wellington Straight. Delmont's going to look to get an early apex, get on the brakes. Nicely done. He's going to take the position away from Finley Brunton. Lawrence Vines a little bit further up the order. Has there been a problem for Adam Brown? This was down. Oh, there has been a problem from Adam Brown. Now, I thought I saw a black and white car off to the inside of the road. I thought it was one of the service vehicles. It wasn't. It was Adam Brown running up in the top 8. Well, Adam Brown's first race didn't end very well, and his second one hasn't started very well. That is a key moment that I think, hopefully there won't be any damage, any serious damage to the car. It's going to leave Adam Brown down around, I think, 20th place. Yes, he's down in 19th. Back at the front of the order, let's find our actual race leader. There he is, Kieran Harrison, just to check in. No disasters. I know the timing tower must be scaring the living daylights out of some of Kieran's followers. Experienced driver from the Leeds BUKC team. Again, look at that. Kieran Harrison has pretty much been the only driver to get into the 1:59 in race pace today. This has been very, very impressive indeed. Looking further down the order, who's having a good fight out there. Let's check in with Dan Gamble. We've not seen Dan out on track for a while. It's there in 20th place. Joel Julius just behind in the blue and white BMW. Fairly close between these drivers at the moment. And just ahead, I think that is the recovering Adam Brown. That's down the inside of Adrian Goodwin. A move that should give Adam Brown 16th place. It'll be interesting to see how far can Brown make it up the order now, because there's no questions, I think, about Brown's pace. All but for one corner, could have finished the first race 4th place overall, and winner of the clubman category has now got to fight back through the order for the remaining 30 and a half minutes of this one. Let's get you some of that data for strength of field. Kieran Harrison there as your race leader. In fact, if I press that button there you go. That's some of your strength of fields for the different classes. 5.7k strength of field for the premiers, 3.2 for the clubmen's, 1.9 strength of field for the intermediates, and then 1.4 for the rookies. So the class structure basically to try and give everybody someone to race. It's the age-old problem when it used to be the C1, C2, C3 category. C3 has very much been replaced like for like with rookie. C2 on the most part has been replaced with intermediate, but you can see the jump there. Imagine that 5.7, kind of an average of the 5.7 and the 3.2. That's nothing new. We saw that with the old C1. asking drivers to step up from C2 and straight away be taking on drivers like this young man here, Kieran Harrison. That's why the Clubman class is there. Gives drivers something to race for. Will be some iRacing dollars at the very end of the season. Be some track time in Club 100 in real life as well. Here we are on board with Kieran Harrison. What a job he is doing, looking to get his first round in with a perfect score. It's looking good value for it as well. A bit further down the order, here's Jack Eyre. P13 at the moment for Jack Eyre. Andy Alston ahead. Very good performance so far from Andy Alston. Two of the Rethink Racing crew. No teams championship in this series, but if there was, I think the Rethink Racing boys, who have come here en masse with their McLaren 720Ss, would be a very, very difficult prospect to beat with the dark blue, almost purple details. And the Alston with the deep red, and Jack Eyre could be shaping up for an overtake here into Stowe Corner. Just looking a little bit further down the order in terms of live timing. See that Matthew Shawnee is there as the top rookie. Rookies can be promoted mid-season to intermediate as well. Reason being for that, that then opens them up to have opportunities to get a shot at some of those physical racing prizes, as opposed to at the moment they're just racing for some iRacing cash. If you're watching the racing tonight and you want to get involved, you still can do. Entries will open for round 2 and beyond upon the completion of racing here tonight. £30 for the full season. One single fee gets you racing in these GT3s, the MX5s, and that race in the NASCAR as well. Should note that any content that participants needs to be, of course, in their libraries. The next race that we will have will be Suzuka. Classic circuit for us to run MX5s upon. We've had some really good racing around there over the years. Very much looking forward to going back to Japan for that one. I say, with a race in the autumn, who knows what the weather could be doing as well. We have got dynamic weather on for this championship. Here's a look at Lawrence Vines, who I think his internet troubles have subsided. He's got Finley Brunton ahead of him. Brunton the leader in the intermediate category. Lawrence Vines, some really decent performances earlier on in the year in the BUKC iRacing Trophy. Nicely kitted out livery as well for Lawrence. This one done by Murray Adams. Murray's services are available for liveries for the drivers. So if you're watching this back and thinking, ooh, that one looks nice, then give Murray a call, drop him a message on the Discord. Looks like Joao Castro's had a problem and jumped to the pits. That's not showing us anything on that one, but Joao looks to be out of this race. Check back in with the race leader. Yes, he's still there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all fine. His lead is 4.5 seconds at this stage. This is going to be quite a message laid down by Kieran Harrison in the very first round of the season to be this far ahead. I know I sometimes say this with drivers at the very front of the field. The scary thing is, I think Kieran's got quicker. I think he's got quicker in comparison to where he was last year. We've had a lot of the GT3 races in the BMW. Another one of the minor rule changes for this year in the GT3s is that drivers are able, in the Premier and the Clubman categories, to have pretty much free reign. Last season they had one joker card, as it were, one get out of jail free card where they could change their cars. But with more GT3 races this year, the one rule that they have to do, they have to declare it ahead of time. And that's all done via SimGrid. Big thanks to SimGrid and their support of the championship. A lot of new initiatives being run on SimGrid for Club 100 Sim Racing now. We should put the advert out as well, that if you're part of the Club 100 racing community and you're thinking, well, why haven't we got some other sims on? Why haven't we got a Gran Turismo championship? Why haven't we got an Assetto Corsa championship? There is the scope to do that. What we need is people who are willing to do the volunteering to get these competitions running. And depending on schedules, we can potentially get some of the broadcast too. But in terms of organising them, SimGrid is there as a platform for the whole community to host races upon, if the interest is there. Just drop us a line, drop us a message, and we'll see what we can do. Here's Ollie Davies in the black and day glow yellow Ferrari, having a really good first night in Club 100 iRacing. Is P8, one of our runners from the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship. Great to have so much support from the BPEC community. Once again, demonstrating the close-knit community that the BPEC paddock is in. I'll tell you what, this is a really strong run. Ollie Davies, 4.3 KI rated driver at the moment. Tucked under the rear wing of Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Got a bit of work though to close up to Murray Adams. Murray Adams. There's been a lot of little quips as to Murray should be in Premier. Well, at the moment, Murray, if you're watching this back, if you keep driving like this, you're going to end up in Premier for the following season. He's up there in 6th place overall and currently on for a race podium in the clubman category. There's been a change out there. Oh, now, has there been a problem for Lawrence Vines? This is going through Beckett to Maggots. That's an over-rotating Porsche that's going to lose position. So that has been a problem for Lawrence Vines. He's done very well to keep some level of control of that. But that is Lawrence Vines losing a number of positions. I think there's been a problem for Gerald Julius as well. This is down into the loop. And, oh, little tag of the rear of Yusuf Bin Sahel. That won't have done too much damage to Yusuf Bin Sahel. Tim Penny does very well to avoid that. But that is going to be a couple of positions lost for Gerald Julius. Getting into the part of the race where we will start looking at pit stops. Ollie Davies still there in 8th place, just holding at around 0.6 of a second off the back of Friedman. Just checking in with Craig Brown. So this was just a little transponder timing moments for Craig Brown. Thought there may have been a problem for Craig there, but not at all. Craig has got some good results, of course, in GT3 races as part of these championships. Remember back a few years ago to a race win that he had on a reverse grid race at Spa. Here's your leader in Clubman, Josh Mitchell. Great to have Josh back in the fray for Club 100 iRacing, and what a sterling job he is doing. P4 overall at the minute. More importantly, leading in Clubman. I'll be having some tunnocks tonight, I'm sure, if you can bring this one home. Still another 20 minutes of this race to go. Will anyone do some differences in terms of the strategy? Comes to Haviland right now, P9. Hope we get to see some more colour on that car later on. I know he's just done one to just get it legal. Get it legal for tonight. Get those mandatory stickers on, it'll all be good. Battle for second place. Matt Kendall being put under a bit of pressure there by Adam State. Just wonder whether Adam will try and get the move done and get a bit of track position before the pit stops. We're having a look at Cody Cosford here. Cody, another new driver to the series. One of the only Audi runners in this round. I'll tell you what, as we learn more about these new drivers across the course of the season, by the fact that he's the only Audi runner, that would suggest that the Audi is not the preferred choice. With the freedom to choose and get those selections in good time, Cody could definitely be a driver to watch for later on in the season. 3.8k I-rated driver. That is a developing I-rating now. I don't know from looking at Cody's file before he entered, because we haven't seen him in Club100 iRacing before, that he's really raised his I-rating over the past few weeks, really. So he qualified up to being Clubman based on a second stage process, which I will not bore you with now, but yeah, very much one to keep an eye on. Could be a bit of a dark horse across the course of the season. But Cody, saw delivery out there. That's technically not legal. Must be a warning tonight. Adam says someone should go full Rob Newman spec and have an orange livery. Oh, well, I'll go one further than that, Adam. Oh, Rob Newman, if you're watching, get yourself back on iRacing and on this grid, son. I know you've done it before. I've got you in the database. But there we go. Matt Salmon, I think, has had a problem out there. Let's have a look what's happened to Matt. Or is it just one of those where... Oh, no, here he is. This was coming through. Oh, big load of curb. That's too much sausage. That's like we're at Handau or Clay Pigeon. That's what happens when you get a little bit greedy with the curbs. But apart from that, Matt is absolutely fine back in the running. I think Matt, where is Matt at the moment? Let's try and find where he is on the tally. 30th place in the moment for Matt Salmon. Carrying on quite fine. Drivers who have had problems. Craig Brown is being listed. Oh, problem for Lawrence Vines. Big problem for Lawrence Vines. Porsche swinging its rear axle around all over the place. Where have we heard that before? But my, that was a very big save for Lawrence Vines. He did very well to keep that one sort of pointing in the right direction. Meanwhile, back at the front of the order, Kieran Harrison, well, based on what we saw in the first race, we're still a couple of laps seeing Kieran come into pit lane. You may also have to bear in mind what's happening with traffic as well. Let's have a little look in with the battle for second place. Adam State not made the move yet, but he's keeping Matt Kendall honest. I tell you what, this could be a close run down the hangar straight and towards Stowe, and Matt Kendall is feeling a need to stay to driver's right. Adam State looking to the outside, has not got the straight line speed. Series being run off the iRacing balance of performance, the same one that you see being run in the License C and License B lobbies, where you've got a fixed setup. It does sometimes mean there's subtle differences between the cars. And a Porsche looking like it's got the ponies down the straight to keep the Lamborghini behind. David White says someone should go Joe Holmes and dominate for 25,000 years. I tell you what, when we're looking at the reclassifications of drivers ahead of this new season, someone has been out there raising their I-rating a bit. Mr. Joe Holmes, we've spotted that. He's now in the database as a Premier driver. Wasn't intermediate before because his I-rating was around 2.5k and he hadn't done much of these races. But yeah, maybe there's a campaign to get the multiple-time sprint champion back on the grid. If you're looking forward to some in real life Club100, we'll be at Shennington next weekend, not this weekend, the weekend after, on Sunday. We could see some champions crowned. Looking at the standings, with 2 rounds to go. Simon Delamere is in the pits. Simon Delamere in this battle in the rookie category with Matthew Shawnee and Eric Mignon tonight. Looking like a fairly standard stop here for Simon Delamere, no reasons for concern. Oh dear, as I think iRacing has just crashed. One moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lord has got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he may, oh, he's got the run, he's gone for a big move. Switchback by Weaver. Read it beautifully, saw it coming, kept the steering open, let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all three of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022.
Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our two qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Alban and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin, sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race this for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton, early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's three of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brendan at all. He's going to try and get the side draft working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael.
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send. My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtake, and now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my god, round the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse. I think he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari Chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kart Barn Vollen Circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years. was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Wenger is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lonato. Cantan's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the two AV Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Cantan on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Cantan defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Cantan's still got the lead of this race. He's got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Cantan. And the title stays in North America. Flag about to be in the air. There it is. Eyes on those lights. They're coming on 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. The KZ third heat is go. Good start for Albanese. He's going to hold the lead into turn 1 ahead of Gustafsson. The rest of the field filing through. Good start down into turn 2 and turn 3. The race result because of Mottram's penalty. But Daniel Munro has had this titanic duel with Rory O'Regan this year. It wasn't Rory's day, but it is Daniel Munro's day. Daniel Munro wins at Rye House and is champion for the 2nd year in a row in a Club 100 juniors category. Yeah, and always going to switch back here to the inside. That's a beautiful move by Reed on the inside through Park. Showed a bit of a dummy there to Carl Garnett. Brave stuff from the championship leader. That's him up to 3rd before. As there is Hugo Schwarzer out of the race while we were talking about. Welcome back, everybody. Apologies for the technical issue. We are back with coverage of round 1 of the Club 100 iRacing Championship. Don't think we've missed too much in the last 5 or 6 minutes. We've had some pit stops out there. Kieran Harrison is still your race leader. On board with him now. Matt Kendall and Adam State still holding 2nd and 3rd places. Josh Mitchell is next up, P4, still your leader in the Clubman category. Let's try and get a little bit of info on what's happening in intermediate. As I say, apologies, we just had a PC crash. Matt Davies is your leader, and I tell you what, doing an absolutely fantastic job in the Clubman category. He's up in P10 overall. So what we were saying earlier with the potential for a driver to get a good haul of points ahead of their class competition, this is the very example of it. Matt Davies has already had a pretty solid first race and is now looking to put some 7 or so positions over his closest rival in his category, that being Fraser Brunton. And there's not a lot of time between the two of them, but there are quite a few runners in the Clubman category. Matt Davies, one of the higher rated in terms of iRating intermediates at 2.9k, but is in intermediate because he's got a 0 score for his previous racing standard within Club 100 iRacing. I'll tell you what, this could be an early contender for the intermediate award. There's Adam Brown. So Adam Brown, we saw in trouble early on in the race, has been able to work his way back up to 11th place. 5.5 minutes of this race to go. Not decided at all who's going to be in a strong position here. I can see things are still loading back in. Liveries are still loading onto cars. Adam Alston there in 13th place, just ahead of Adam Delmont. All of these drivers will have completed their pit stops. Murray Adams has had problems though. Murray Adams, you can see there, is down to 15th place. So was up in the region around with Ollie Davies and others in the top 3 runners in the Premier category, but something has happened to the Scotsman. Still scoring well, still scoring ahead of Sam Spinell, who of course started this race a little bit further back. Did I say Fraser Brunton? My bad. I've had years of practice calling Brunton with Fraser in front of it. It was bound to happen at some point tonight. Dan Gamblin not too far behind as well in that squabble for intermediate positions. Just ahead of Adrian Goodwin and Tim Petty. Will Doyle we've not seen too much of tonight. There's Will. Another driver, great to have him back. He's currently running in 22nd place, just ahead of Yusuf Bin Sahel, who in turn is fighting with Steve Hicks at the moment. Let's stick with this battle because this is an intermediate versus Premier squabble. And Steve Hicks is going to look down the inside. That's going to get a little bit tight. There's a car off ahead, and I think it's Adam Delmont. I think Adam Delmont is in a bit of bother. Let's see what's happened there to Adam Delmont. Well, that was a little bit before. And let's go a little bit further back to see what was the cause. Oh, side by side with Andy Alston. Bit of a hip check, side pod to side pod. Rear axle to rear axle, and that is how Adam Delmont went round. Lightest little touch. And, oh, Hicks is off. Hicks is off. Now, what has happened there to Steve Hicks? This, I think, is going to be through Copse Corner. And, he's going to lose it on the curb. Oh, just the smallest little touch. I think he wasn't expecting that corner speed for Yusuf Bin Sahel off of the corner, and it's just caught him out. Oh, very experienced driver is Steve Hicks, number 4 seed from last year. But that is a tough moment for Steve Hicks. Right, let's try and get back with our lead battle. Confirm that Kieran Harrison still is in the lead of this race. Yes, he is. I also think he's got a little bit brighter out there. It was overcast conditions at the start of the races. It still is quite cloudy out there. Kieran Harrison looking good at the moment for a perfect start to his campaign. Looks like Steve Hicks has gone into pit lane. Yeah, I think there's more problems. Really tough night for Steve Hicks. One of the front runners who immediately could be looking at a drop score from tonight's racing. 2 more laps for the front runners then, including the one that they are on. Let's look a little bit further back just to make sure that everything is still as we were expecting out there. Close battle. Well, Josh Mitchell, what a job Josh has done tonight. Well clear of everybody else in Clubman. Will Blackwell Chambers is 2.5 back. I think the closest battle that we're looking at the moment is this one here for 6th place. Ollie Davies trying to fend off Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Still not done for the top 10 as well. Adam Brown trying to get himself back in, and it's good reason to keep pushing on here, because as was asked earlier tonight, the points are awarded relative to the overall finishing position. So even though for Adam Brown the driver ahead is an intermediate, indicated there with the green flashes on the wing end plates and the side mirrors, that is an overtake that's worth points. Now, on paper, it should be an easy move, but such is the performance of Matthew Davies here tonight, that's not necessarily going to be the case. Through Copse Corner onto the last lap. There's also something to be considered for the drivers out there. I think there have been problems for Cody Cosford. Cody Cosford is a little bit further down the order than he was earlier on in this race. And oh no, has there been problems for Matthew Shawnee? Matthew Shawnee, who was your Clubman leader. Oh, over-rotated. Has he hit the wall? He has hit the wall. Oh, Matthew Shawnee is going to surely be out of the lead in the rookie category. And at the worst possible part of the course as well, because he's now got to go round and do a whole lap with a considerable amount of damage. Race leader is coming down the hanger straight for the final time in this one in a truly awesome, dominant performance from Kieran Harrison. Won the first race at a canter, is going to win this one as well. And Kieran Harrison is going to be on top of the standings table after the first round of this year's Club 100, this new season of the Club 100 iRacing Championship. Kieran Harrison dominates at Silverstone. A magnificent run for the Leeds BUKC graduates. Matt Kendall is going to come across the line in second place. 2 second places for Matt tonight. 2 third places for Adam State as well. 3 premiers on top. Josh Mitchell is going to take victory in the Clubman category with 4th place overall. A fantastic run from the Scotsman. 5th for Will Blackwell Chambers. Ollie Davies is going to be on the podium in the race in class with 6th place there. Henry Mackenzie Friedman home in 7th. James de Havilland scores well with 8th place. Michael Weddle 9th. Matthew Davies wins brilliantly in intermediate and scores a top 10 overall. Fantastic first performance from Davies. Brown ahead of Jack Eyre. Looks like Finley Burton has come home in 2nd place in intermediate. Dan Gamlin is going to be across the line in 3rd. Strong run in the BMW there. Yusuf Bint Hale scores nicely also in intermediate in 4th. What has happened in the rookie class though? I think Matthew Shawnee is holding on to the lead here. Matthew Shawnee is holding on to the lead, completely missing the front bumper. Simon Delamere is down the road in 35th place. Eric Mignon is 37th. Well, this has almost got signs of Lewis Hamilton over the years. Matthew Shawnee wins, completely missing the front end of his car, but gets it across the line for 30th place. There is Simon Delamere. Simon Delamere is going to be P2 in the rookie category. Eric Mignon, I think, is a lap down, so has already seen the checkered flag, and indeed has. Well, what a way! What a way to finish things here, but a brilliant performance from Kieran Harrison means he finishes on top. Let's have a look at the full result for us, if we can get it up on the thing for us. Fantastic run from everybody involved. Results, are they going to show? Yes, they are going to show. Kieran Harrison wins it from Matt Kendall. Adam State 3rd. That's your 1, 2, 3 in both races tonight, and will be 1, 2, 3 in the points tables at the end of the night. Josh Mitchell P4 ahead of Will Blackwell Chambers P5, P6 for Murray Adams, Henry Mackenzie Friedman P7, Adam Brown, Ollie Davies, Michael Weddle all in the top 10. Matthew Davies has fallen down the order, or maybe that was his true reflexive position in 15th place. Apologies again for some of the timing and scoring issues tonight. That's a bit of restriction of resources on our part to get everything to run to its normal standard. But Adam Brown, Ollie Davies and Michael Weddle all in the top 10. James de Havilland P11 ahead of Andy Alston. Lawrence Fines and Cody Cosford all in the top 14. Matthew Davies did win, though. We can definitely say that. He did win in the intermediate ranks with P15. Finley Burton P16. Jack Eyre, Adam Delmont all in the top 18. Will Doyle, Adrian Goodwin complete the top 20. Tim Penny, P21 ahead of the 3rd driver in intermediate, Dan Gamlin there, P22. Sam Dimolo, Craig Brown, James Fremont, Joel Julius, all running inside the top 30, completed by Yusuf Bint Hale and Matthew Shawnee. Matthew Shawnee does hold on to the win in the rookie class. Was the only driver to finish on the lead lap in rookie class, ahead of Aidan Bliss, Tom Dix, Matt Salmon, Matt Hale, Simon Delamere, John Adey, Eric Mignon, Joao Castro, and last of all, 2 laps down, Steve Hicks. Wow, what a first night of racing here in the Club 100 iRacing Championship for 2024-2025. The next round is not too far away. It will be, if I'm not mistaken, on the 9th of October. The details are all over on the sim grid. You can get signed up. In fact, this is the bit where I go online and open the entries. One moment, callers. Let's get this up online for you. So if you've been watching tonight and want to get on the grid for round 2 and the rest of the season, you can do so. We'll be at Suzuka. Should be absolutely fantastic indeed on the 9th of October. All the events get going at 6 p.m. with a 90-minute free practice, and it'll be 3 times 25-minute races. As I say, the registration is open now. If you have already registered, you don't need to do anything.
If you're the one driver who hasn't paid their entry fee, you just need to get the entry fee in. And I think we've still got around 6 places left for the cap of 50 that we're doing for this this moment's time. Thank you very much, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Apologies for some of the technical issues tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the first round in the Masters. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy the rest of the week, and remember, in terms of DDMM commentaries, we've got British Kart Championships this weekend up at Three Sisters, and then Club 100 at Shenington next week. That's all to come before we next see you for this, the Club 100 iRacing Championship 2024-2025. Thank you very much for joining, and goodbye.